Good afternoon. We will call to order the meeting of the Senate Finance Committee, and I would invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we know if Senator Morse will be joining us? There he is. Take a meeting, motion to go into non-public.
Second.
Thank you. Senator Reagan moves executive session. That's seconded by Senator Hennessey. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. First bill we're going to take up is House Bill 398. Yes.
I'll move on to pass.
Senator Gardner moves ought to pass. Senator Reagan seconds. Any discussion? This is a bill making appropriation to the Department of Environmental Services for funding eligible wastewater projects. Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion of ought to pass, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Senator Gardner?
Sure.
Okay, if we go to House Bill 412. Okay, Senator Morse moves inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 412. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Reagan. Discussion. Believe in looking through the testimony on this, that it was indicated that there was a lot of money that was coming in for drinking water, and saw the no need for this bill at this time. Any further discussion? There being none, motion is inexpedient to legislate. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. And I'll take that out. Senate Bill 387. Senator Reagan?
Yeah, I move on GL.
Senator Reagan moves in expedient to legislate. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Morse. Discussion. There being none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
No.
And the ayes have it, motion carries 3-2. I'm sorry, I'm still on my five-member committee. 5-2 with Senators Rosenwald and D'Alessandro opposed. And I'll take that one out also. Senate Bill 415. Senator Hennessey.
Move ITL.
Senator Hennessey moves in expedient to legislate on Senate Bill 415,
Second.
seconded by Senator Reagan. Discussion? Senator Rosenwald.
Thank you. I can't support the ITL. We have not appropriately funded the homeless shelter program since the end of the last biennium. We actually ended up cutting the appropriation to homeless shelters, and the department has asked us for incremental funding to be able to support this program. So I would support the amendment that was lying on the table, but I can't support the ITL. Thank you.
Senator Hennessey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The reason I moved ITL in this is that we did put funds into our budget for these programs. However, the amendment nor the underlying bill does not take into account there's a lot of towns that are currently supporting homeless individuals in their towns or cities that do not have access to homeless shelters. So this bill just supports the shelters and doesn't actually support the taxpayers who are paying them with their taxes when they don't have access to these shelters.
Further discussion? Senator Rosenwald.
Thank you. I think that the homeless problem is a statewide problem, and some people can be supported in ways other than shelters, but some individuals can only be taken off the street into shelters. So I know that in Nashua, for example, we do help support people who are unhoused, but we also need a better shelter program. And I think it's unconscionable that we actually cut the shelter funding in the budget.
Further discussion? Senator D'Alessandro.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I won't support the bill. I think it's clear that we need funding. In Manchester, we support homeless. We've created more and more space for homeless. We've repatriated homeless camps along the river and moved people into housing. And it seems to me we have a responsibility. And all of us are taxpayers, and all of us could be in this most difficult situation. You know, it's just a matter sometimes of luck, and we ought to be supporting it. We just be. I'm looking at the testimony that we received during this bill from a number of people with regard to the 40-year history and the economic system and the several steps that have been taken, and we just haven't done it. This would have helped. So for that reason, I will not support the ITL. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is inexpedient to legislate on Senate Bill 415. All those in favor of that motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
No.
Nay.
And the motion carries 4-3. And Senator Hennessey. Going now to Senate Bill 226. Senator Reagan moves interim study on Senate Bill 226. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Gaida. Discussion.
if I might, Mr. Chair.
Senator D'Alessandro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We know that we have 10% of our labor force, that we can't fill these jobs. And it seems to me we're seeing retirements all the time, and we need to establish a recruitment and retention program for state employees. And this seems to be a very reasonable attempt to do that. When you've got 10,000 employees and you've got almost 3,000 unemployed or jobs to be filled, we got 70 vacancies over in administrative services for cleaners. And it just seems to me it's counterintuitive not to create a program to find people and to put together a recruitment and retention policy that keeps people here, keeps people on the job and recruits people. I looked at the unemployment rate today. Got an email from Employment Security, and I think we have about 10,000 unemployed people. So let's recruit them and get them jobs. You can't run the ship without any sailors, and we're hurting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Gaida.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I recall Commissioner Arlinghouse's testimony to the effect that unemployment in the, or I should say, openings in state government are cyclical in accordance with what the economy is doing. When the economy's hot, it goes as high as 18%. When the economy's not, we fill our billets. To me, the issue is, are we getting the job done? And I think, there are certain areas where we have problems, but all in all, I think it's just the state of the economy. The people that aren't working are people that don't want to work, and we didn't help that by passing $30 million for paying for rent with no strings attached. But I'll be supporting the ITL on this.
Senator Rosenwald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This came out of the Policy Committee, 5-0, ought to pass. And when I look at the fiscal note, it's just an indeterminable. So I'm not sure why we're trying to redo policy that the experts on the policy area already sent us. So I won't be supporting the interim study.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Morse.
Yeah, but the fiscal note doesn't reflect what the bill says. Everything in the bill is an expenditure. Bonuses, referral fees. There's got to be an expenditure coming right behind this bill in order to make it work. And I just don't see, and this is in the private sector too, right? None of it's working. It's just, here's the amount of people you have, and we're all chasing the same bucket. And I think at this point in time, to use money as the way to chase it is a mistake. It's not going to work. And then you got the retention part of it that I think is even harder to measure. So I think at this point in time, we're doing the best we can to hire. I think the last reports that one of you ordered were at 18% and unemployment, and I would venture to guess that's pretty much the norm in the whole state of New Hampshire right about now. And I don't think a policy like this is where we're throwing money at it without even knowing what we're throwing at it is going to work.
Thank you. Senator D'Alessandro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Catherine Kane said agencies would need to use existing agency funds and are required to go before both the governor and council and fifth committees to request permission to transfer funds to pay for this stipend. Every 2 years when the budget process begins, Assistant Commissioner Bouchard prepares budget instructions for agencies, which will include instructions on how to make the request. The legislature has the final say on approval. Incentives would be targeted to the most challenging positions for recruitment. I mean, clearly, the desire is within the operating budget, within your appropriation, you're going to find the money to provide this incentive, and if indeed if something else is needed, you go to the next budget cycle and ask for an appropriation. I think this is good. It's good policy. In the old days, we had a recruitment and retention statute. When I was on the council, we used that statute. And that statute was when we were losing an employee, or that employee who was in a managerial position was making less than a subordinate, you could increase that salary by $1,000. And that was in a fund that we had, the Recruitment and Retention Fund. I'm not sure we have that anymore, but we have used this mechanism in the past. You know, and it's used across the country, and particularly at times like these. It seems to me a very reasonable, a very rational, reasonable situation where you exercise everything you have within your sphere of influence to recruit employees, to get employees, to retain employees. I mean, keeping employees is very important. So I think for those reasons, it's as Senator Rosenwald points out, this passed the policy committee with a 5-0 vote and was on the consent calendar. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Rosenwald.
And I would add that we've had another number of items at the fiscal committee that are not so dissimilar. They've been stipends for truck drivers and frontline workers, and we all voted for those. And I think also relevant is the very interesting joint briefings we had with the House Finance and Ways and Means, where we learned that New Hampshire's workforce recovery is among the lowest in the country, and particularly worrisome, I think, is the group of people who are between the ages of 25 and 34. Those are likely to be people with young children who are preschool age. They can't afford childcare if they can even find it. And so those people are leaving the workforce. And I think that's not good for us as a state and as an employer. So a retention bonus could be really helpful for keeping that group of young workers employed. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? I would say in this economy, I would expect that the job of human resources is to work on retention and different ways of marketing that might be different than just throwing money at a situation, because a bonus or to go and work someplace, you only have to listen to the radio, and you've got numerous competitors out there in private business that are offering things. So one of the problems that I had with this was, you know, when you talk about that you're going to give out incentive bonuses or whatever, how much? How much do you need to put out in order to compete with the businesses that are already offering such bonuses? I know that the state offers a good benefit package, and so maybe the part of the solution is to accentuate the benefit package, the medical package that one can get from being an employee of the state. Something different, because that $500,000 bonus, whatever, that's only going to last for a short amount of time. And well, it was interesting, Senator Rosenwald, in your comment about the people leaving the workforce. I was just reading yesterday or the day before an article where it talked about 70% of the people who chose not to go back to work are now regretting it. So, you know, I'm in hopes that will turn around and provide some of the resources that we need. But I think that interim study is reasonable so that we can get out and beyond the box and start looking at different ways that we can retain people, attract them, because it is a problem not only with the state, but also with the private sector as well. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is interim study on Senate Bill 226. All those in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-2. Senator Hennessey. And next one will be Senate Bill 381.
Move on to pass.
Senator Reagan moves ought to pass on Senate Bill 381.
Second.
Second by Senator Gaida. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the ought to pass motion on Senate Bill 381, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Senator Reagan? Senate Bill 394.
Move on to pass.
Senator Gaida moves ought to pass, seconded by Senator Rosenwald. This is relative to the definition of a child with disabilities under special education laws. Any discussion?
Chairman, I had a question on this.
Yeah, Senator Morse.
I obviously support it. I just trying to understand what we've been doing in the past when a child starts school that year. What happens in the middle of the year today? Does anyone know?
Senator Rosenwald.
I believe they lose their benefits when they turn 21, I think.
I sort of remember hearing something to that in the testimony too.
And so this would allow them to finish out the school year.
Correct. Senator Gaida?
No, that was my comment, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Motion before us is ought to pass on Senate Bill 394. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Senator Gaida?
Sure.
Next bill will be Senate Bill 403.
Interim study.
Senator Reagan moves interim study. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Senator Gaida. Discussion? Senator Reagan.
So the question became, aren't WIC debit cards or whatever allowed to be used at a farmer's market now? And we didn't have an answer.
And my presumption is if they were to be allowed, that the farmers could pick one up and use it for their own services, but also that if we're rather than create a new program that we have here, that we could take the WIC program that's there now, if that's not allowed to be used at farmers market, then it seems though a change to the statute could be made to open that possibility up, which is why I would support interim study. Any further discussion? There being none, the motion before us is interim study on Senate Bill 403. All those in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. So, no. The vote is 4-3. And I'll take that one out. Our next bill is Senate Bill 420. Senator Hennessey.
Second.
And
Of course you do.
Senator Hennessey moves on to pass, seconded by Senator Gaida. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the ought to pass motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Senator Hennessey? And Senate Bill 424. Senator Rosenwald moves ought to pass, as seconded by Senator Hennessey. Discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the ought to pass motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. And Senator Rosenwald? Okay. And that is all I have for today. Others, I still have questions on. I haven't had an opportunity to get to everybody yet. I know that there are amendments that we're waiting on for some, so we will plan on cleaning up the rest of our list next week. Okay, with that, I'll take a motion to come out of executive session. Moved by Senator Reagan, second by Senator Gaida. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. And our business being completed today, we will be adjourned.
Good job.
It's LBA's attempt to come up with a way that we can have a debate. Yeah, but what they did was side by side so that we can pick up the repeats, you know? Like, I bet you if you go and you look at 100 million that the governor wants for, it'll show on both sides. You know, 100 million for the lawsuit. My only problem was, it looked cleaner on the other documents.
And to be funded with their fines, and anything in excess of $10,000, after they spend all the money, it's not a fuck. I voted against that, everything goes wrong. So there's no incentive out there to find people. Of course. Why do you get? Go. All right. Sorry, Mr. Caucus wasn't even in my schedule. We were actually having a conversation.
The rest of the afternoon also.
That's a different.
You can order a new snow for you.
Right, right.
I was really pleased with that big snow today. I saw that went further east and I thought, oh, no. Yeah. Let them use it up north.
So, next week, we'll have to do all of that.
I'm still picking away at 4:30.
Yeah, but it,
I've got a couple of amendments.
today's the
Sure that I get it.
Is that-
Yes, you did. Once you get it. Well, I'd like it before next Thursday. No. After you get sitting at your desk, in the chair.
They had one place in there talking about including a little bit to. That was no problem. Just include it in four. And there's another. Change that to 5 minutes. Versus it's a whole list. You've got a 5-year look back period. Numerous new positions. We're back to that.
Creating jobs that we can fill.
Yeah. It's like when you write about these positions, and they just create new ones as opposed to taking a look at what's still vacant.
Well, it's a problem. No question.
Well, yeah, especially with controlling people.
Right, that's for sure.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
enjoy your afternoon.
Like I said, incrementally, maybe. Yeah, right now, it's getting into maybe about at least 45,000. But the problem is, we bump them on all the way where we should be with the other girls. You bump them over the commissioner, everybody else. For now, yes. Yeah. Yeah. And some going over. And this is actually. Both. A couple that have retired, and then we have just had young guys, but this is one of them, not law enforcement, and within the private sector. Pay is the primary issue, but I think the secondary issue is the diesel and all the hostility that goes along with it too. So, part of 31st. I can tell you from state house status, it's like additional status, 7 national beauty. And the reason that they lost the national beauty was departments do is they have usually 4 or 5 main steps. So then they fill out 2 extra outliers, and the outliers are,
You can still ask.
it would be the same unit. And they have
Yeah.
a 15-year, they call it master control in 2. So it's an incentive, but once you get to that 4 or 5, you don't get any more until those next 2. 10, 15.
Do you need something? Thank you.
But that first 4 gets you up
Yeah, we're done.
significantly higher.
Call me if you need
than-
anything.
To get to that top of that, you get to the
Okay.
dash after 4 years, it probably take you 12 years. to get to the state. And that's part of it, that's.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's done, but it definitely next year, the other issue is that you have to, is, again, in the state, are press. So, and this, and trying to talk to like, relations like her over the last couple months, we were trying to say, it makes no sense that this woman should be paid more than that. So, I think the argument was, okay, so if I get hired at any private company, I'll be the executive vice president of marketing. And on my first day, the CEO is giving me a tour and says, hey, this is Beth over here, that's the janitor, she's been here for 35 years, so she's getting paid more than me. Really? That's the argument in the States, usually that's why some troopers get paid more than